Black Beauty, a project that I'm so proud of being a part of the design story. When I received a phone call from Steve and Lucy Cahill of Cahill Building Group, I was so excited. I'd watched their business grow from the sidelines, seeing their townhouse developments pop up all over Mornington. And I was hoping one day I'd be able to work on one of their projects. I inherited some fantastic floor plans, and I knew with the design brains of the design team here at KWD that we would be able to elevate their brief of a Belgian farmhouse and take it to the next level.
So we built the house in about 11 months. We sort of brought Kate in once we had our plans, and we really put KWD under the pump and said we need this before we start. So they only really had about 3 months to turn around the whole project.
It was definitely the turning point, I think, for the business to come into a completely different league of homes.
We gave Kate the plans and sort of an idea, and Kate really ran with it and took it down a few different paths that we wouldn't have gone down, which is exactly what we asked for.
So, Belgian farmhouse, and we hadn't done one of these projects before. So we had to do a lot of research into what that meant.
Yeah, the feelings, the colours, the layering.
And I think what's really interesting about this style is really subtle detail. One of the hallmarks of Belgian farmhouse is, I guess, those industrial elements. And we really brought that through with things like door hardware and all the handles in the kitchen. They have that very strong
And
robust feel. And then we also took that through to the staircase, and that staircase,
One of a kind, isn't it?
it feels so beautiful when you're in the space because you come through and it's almost like an anti-space. So it owned its whole void, and it was so lovely and light, and the wainscoting just elevated the look.
Even painting it all in the same colour, it just created a bit more depth in such a grand space, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. When it came to the nursery, because Lucy fell pregnant during the process, this was going to be a study. And this little baby Fleur came along. So, floral wallpaper for Fleur.
Yeah.
How fitting. And I said to them, babies lie on their backs and they're looking up.
They are. Yep.
So why not put
beautiful
that
space.
Gorgeousness where she can see it?
Fleur's room was tricky for me. I was confused with her room in terms of style and colour, but once it all came together, I just absolutely loved it.
This room, which could have just been wallpaper, had colour-coded shutters, it had wainscoting, it had wallpaper, it had so many subtle details
It did.
that made the design. One of the other hallmarks of Belgian farmhouse is that sludgy colour palette.
Which is throughout, isn't it, Kate? And the layering of that sludginess, having different tones of the same palette, it just gave it a good edge.
And this colour, Porter's Jeep,
Yeah, it's just beautiful, isn't it?
it's a chameleon, it changes in
I
different
was going to
colours.
say, yeah, is it black, is it green, is it grey?
And I loved that Steve and Lucy followed our lead and were bold enough in their master bedroom to paint the whole thing
Whole space.
in Jeep, including the ceiling. And it was grounded by some really beautiful, robust materials.
I wanted it to be homely, I wanted the earthy tones, I wanted it to be peaceful. So I think she nailed it. I was blown away, I loved everything about it. I don't think there was anything that I was unhappy with.
On presentation day,
Yeah.
when they came in, they
were
didn't
blown
know
away.
they didn't know where to look,
Yeah.
did they?
It was almost overwhelming on the day. And that was the first time we've been through that experience of just walking in and seeing everything that you're getting right in front of you.
I wanted them to really subscribe to our ideology of, you're used to designing townhouses for the masses, but our ideology here was more, let's shelve that idea and let's design a home just for you guys.
Yeah.
Design a home for you to love and for your family. And ultimately, if you decide to move on one day,
It's going to be stunning to sell.
it'll have that romance. And the romance is actually the X factor of what I'm really proud of that we get into our projects.
Yes.
We're now building custom designed luxury homes for families on the Mornington Peninsula. They're all individual and they all have sort of a personality of their own, which is fantastic.
We'd always worried about what we were building, who we were building for. So it's amazing that you can build a feeling in a house. By engaging Kate, we were confident and we learnt so much from her to be able to step out of our comfort zone. And I feel like we've been so much better for that experience.
What I'm most proud of is when people walk into a home that we've designed and they say, I knew the home was gorgeous. I knew from the photos it looked beautiful, but it has this feeling when you walk
It
in.
does, yeah. An inner feeling that you actually can't describe.
Because normally it's the opposite. Normally the photos are the pinnacle.
Yeah, and then you go to the home and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, Photoshop this, Photoshop that. But with our homes, they're blown away.